welcome for Verna Gillis!
Hey. How do you define a good day? For me, if I don't start peeing before my pants are down, that's a good day. If I'm even thinking about peeing, it's already too late. I always assume I have to pee, and I'm always right. My brand of adult pads is called Free to Pee, You and Me. Laugh as hard as you want, ladies. On the rag, once again. When I turned 69, I finally realized I'll no longer die young. One thing to cross off my anxiety list. Here I am, closer to dead than to alive, knowing that one day, the last thing I say will be the last thing I said, and vice versa. I grew up on another idea of 69. All I could say is, oh, there's a choke. Too much going on. I never really liked it. Now ADD is who we are. I've identified a new malady which I call FAD, full attention disorder, for people who can only do one thing at a time. They're working on a medication for that now. I gave myself a big surprise party for my 70th. If you don't think turning 70 is one big fucking surprise, just wait. We all come from a family, and as we know, the family is the scene of the crime. Home is where the horror is. To say dysfunctional family is redundant. I was definitely homophobic. I am now organizing the Control Freak Olympics, where control freaks can speak openly and honestly about how hard it is to get someone else to do what you want. I have an opinion about every fucking thing, including the way my partner tells stories about his own life. I tell them better, of course. Some people will never get over having known me at my worst. They'll cross the street if they see me coming. That person dreads seeing me. I dread seeing that person's dread of me. Dreadlocked. Let's rewrite the marriage vows. Do you, dear clueless persons, take this equally dear clueless person and promise to stay for life? Take the F out of life, place it in fuck where it belongs, and what does that leave you with? Lie. Promise unity, promising over and over again what it is impossible to promise. I never fell in love. I called it being clitorized. There's a mutual moment of going for it, and everyone else vanishes for at least 6 months. Suspension of reason. All those quirks which eventually we will dislike intensely in the other person are so adorable, such a turn-on. Watching him shake off those last drops from his penis in the bathroom with his hands on the bathroom wall is fabulously erotic, because after all it's his penis, and soon it will enter all your orifices. Months later, you'll start to notice the drops of urine on the bathroom floor and the smudges from his hand on the wall, and it will make you fucking nuts. My father used to say that he had married our mother, but we would have to marry a total stranger. I finally found my voice about 20 years ago. Before that, I had my scream, my shriek. My husband used to say to me in this logical way, "You don't have to scream. I'm right here. Of course he was wrong. I did have to scream. What I didn't know then is that I didn't need to scream at him. I need a chiropractor for daily attitude adjustments. I often hear people lamenting their imperfections. I strive for imperfection. It would be a major step up from being totally whacked. Do I believe in a higher power? You bet I do. Carbs and marijuana. People believe a lot of crazy shit with much less proof. Two of the best relationships I've had in my life have been with scones. First a pumpkin cranberry, and then a carrot raisin. From different bakeries, and at different times they had just closed overnight. I go into every fucking restaurant, bakery, diner. I try to get into muffins. My sole criteria is size. Size matters for my car. And I'm here to tell you, it is better to have sconed and lost than never to have sconed at all. Still sconed after all these years. Marijuana is the one addiction at which I draw the line. No way am I giving that up. Mind altering? You bet. If you had access to my mind on some days, you'd go out and buy it for me as an act of mercy. If they did a printout of my thoughts, the thought police would arrest me. The future and the past are my specialty. The present has always been the most elusive. On a good day, I tread water in the think tank. Helpful hints for things not to do when stoned. Do not initiate or send emails of any kind. Perhaps your computer needs a function that automatically waits 12 hours if it smells marijuana on your breath. Do not promise to do or say anything. For example, let's live together. Let's get married. I'll never want anyone else. Do not convince yourself that carrot cake is a vegetable. When I am stoned, I don't get the munchies. I reserve domain names. I now own more than 20. I have a game show idea. Your call is very important to us. 5 contestants, each given the same 800 number, and whoever gets to speak to a human first wins. I digress. It's all about digressing now. I was talking to my friend Bonnie, who was going on, and I had no idea what she was talking about. I kept waiting for those few words that would give me a clue and bring me back on board. It wasn't happening, and I said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" A friend posted a photo on Facebook. I click on the link, look at the photo, and I'm not in it. And then I see a woman wearing the same coat I've been wearing. And upon closer scrutiny, the same glasses. A holy fucking shit moment. When I see my nephew a few days later, I say to him, "When you look at me, do you see someone you recognize?" "Yes," he replies, looking at me blankly. Later he sends me an email to say that often he doesn't understand where I'm coming from. Wait 30 years, he will. People tell me that my segues have become confidential. I can always keep a secret, and now I keep it from myself. I have learned that just because I don't remember something doesn't mean it didn't happen. And just because I remember it doesn't mean it did. My father used to say that the first 100 years are the hardest. I thought he was a cynic. I'm thinking now perhaps he was an optimist. I form a rock band of older post-menopausal women. We call ourselves the Dry Vaginas. I went from looking good to, wow, you look good for your age. What happened to the burning bush that used to be between my legs? All I know is the bald eagle has landed. The hairs on my legs made off with my libido. The hairs under my arms have migrated to my chin. My new bra size is 36 long. 60 is the new 60. 70 is the new 70. We are the oldest. I'll toke to that. At this very moment, all of us here are the oldest we have ever been.
Keep it going,